Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Andrea and I am a fashion reseller on sites like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace. And basically, I teach you how to sell other people's junk and make money. So today's video is going to be all about dye transfer. Like, I see so many posts about dye transfer, and I'm actually very good at getting it out. Now, I am going to start with the easiest way to get out dye transfer. So, the easiest way to get out dye transfer, if it's something that is just freshly washed or something that just happened, is to soak it in vinegar water. Now, you just soak it, and sometimes you can see the dye lift right away, and then you just throw it in the washer. And make sure that you wash it on cold and not hot. If you are washing something that is new, most of the time the reason that there is dye transfer is because of hot water makes bright colors bleed, like reds and blacks, and like any color that is next to white. That's how it happens, because the warm water will make it bleed. If you wash it in cold water, you will not as likely have that happen. Okay, and the second item that I am going to talk to you about is rid dye. Now, rid dye, the only thing about using rid out or rid dye, it is getting kind of hard to find. But the other thing that I will say is rid dye sometimes discolors it, even if you use the one that does not contain bleach. If you wash like a whole load of laundry, and let's say you have a red sock that falls into the white clothes, then using rid dye, as long as there's not like multi-colors on the white stuff, that is going to be your best bet. And I learned to do that when I was in my early 20s, because me and my husband we lived in a duplex, and we actually had to walk across the street to the laundromat. And for some reason, when we were sorting stuff and we were going to the laundromat, oftentimes something would get messed up and end up in the wash in the wrong color. And probably because we were younger and we were in a hurry to do the laundry. Okay, the final product that I'm going to talk to you about today, and this is definitely not a sponsored video, but I use this product all the time. And I'm going to tell you how I know about this brand and how useful it is. So, Carbona is a brand that actually used to be sold at dry cleaners, and dry cleaners predominantly used it. I don't believe you used to be able to buy it at stores. It was kind of like a secret of the trade. Carbona, the brand, and I don't know if I can snap a photo maybe to add to this, but if you're in your laundry aisle, and my Walmart has it, and if my Walmart has it, I bet most or all Walmarts have a Carbona rack of stain treatment. I live in a town that has 8,000 people, and our Walmart is smaller than some of the other ones, so I'm assuming that most people can find this. Now, when you go up to the rack, you will see the liquid Carbona. That is used a lot to treat pin stains. They have one for sauces. They have one for motor oil and grease stains. They have these little yellow bottles, and basically they have one for every type of stain. There's usually like 30 different categories. And that is how I know about Carbona. I remember years ago, the dry cleaners would use Carbona. So now I'm going to talk to you about my favorite product to get out dye transfer. Hands down, my favorite product. And I'm going to show you how it works, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And Okay, this is a powder by Carbona. And sometimes they are out of it. When I do see it, sometimes I grab a couple boxes because it's around like $3, $4-ish. Here it is. And as you can see on the box, they did a wonderful thing. They put that red sock in there. So like I talked about earlier, when a red sock gets in your white clothes. Okay, so here are a pair of Vans, and I actually bought them like this. And then I fixed them once and then had to wash them again, so then they bled. These are my daughter's Vans. And as you can see right there, there is dye transfer. There's more dye transfer. And Vans, this is a very common thing with Vans. The red and white Vans bleed. The black and white Vans bleed. So people don't like washing their Vans anymore. This one is actually worse because the dye transfer got like really bright up at the top. So what you do, and you can kind of read, there's like instructions, but basically you want to put this powder in water. So I got this bowl and I'm going to fill it, and you actually, I believe you put it in hot water. Let me see. Yes. So when you're trying, they actually want you to try to get most of the dye to bleed. Like I said earlier, if you're washing something, and you don't have it on cold when you're doing your first wash, if it's a two-toned item, most of the time you want to wash it in cold water. Hot water is actually what makes dye bleed. So you actually will put this in the hottest water that you can get out of the faucet. And I always use like a toothbrush to work into the dye transfer, or like where the dye is transferred. And you are going to submerge, in this case, the shoe, and you're going to rub this powder in. You can actually mix like a fourth a cup of this in the water, but I found it's more effective to kind of brush it in the area with a toothbrush, with a wet toothbrush, and then submerge it. And this scares people sometimes because when the product first starts working, sometimes it turns like a purple color or like a rust color, like it looks like it's kind of making the stain worse. That's like a chemical reaction happening, and then it will actually lift the dye. Now, am I saying this product 100% works? It might not work on everything, but I have had great success with this, and I'm actually going to briefly show you on the sneakers that I just showed you how it works. You also want to leave the item in the water. It says 5 minutes, but sometimes I leave it in there for like 10 minutes, like soaking. And then, you can rinse the rest of it out and put it in the dryer. Okay, so I got all my stuff ready, and I'm going to show you this product work in action. Okay, so I'm going to show you the best I can in real time, so you don't think that I edited anything and it's like, oh, those aren't even the same shoes. They are the same shoes. And I'm going to put my phone around, and I apologize for the lighting. I actually have too many lights in my kitchen, and I had to dim some of them and turn other ones on because it was causing a glare. Okay, so I'm basically going to fill this up with the hottest water. I'm going to make sure it's really hot first. Because you want it to be absolutely the hottest water, or it will not work. Okay, I'm not filling up the whole sink because it kind of messes up the process. You want it to be like not a lot of water. You don't want it to dilute the solution. Even though this bowl looks small, it's actually very big. But You don't want to fill up your whole sink. Okay, so let's look at the shoes again so you can kind of see like where it's at. Right there. This side isn't as bad. I got one of my old toothbrush heads here, and obviously this. So, okay, I'm doing my best to do this in real time without a lot of editing so you can see the real effects here. But I will tell you, I film all my videos on my phone, and it is very hard to be around water and trying to film this happening. So basically, here is the Carbona. And I just cut the corner off. This is like my old toothbrush thing. Okay, so what I do is I get the areas that are like doing the transfer like a little wet. Like this part right there is really bad where this pink is. So I just get them wet before I submerge them in water, because I found this being more effective if you use it. So I'm gonna put some directly on the toothbrush as I'm making a mess. But on the toothbrush, and I'm gonna show you guys like what kind of happens here. Rubbing it in. So I'm just rubbing all the powder in. Okay, this is kind of hard to show you one-handed, but right there is where the bad dye transfer was. You can see how pink that is. So that's the area I want to target a lot. Brush it in. Okay guys, so I scrubbed the shoe a little bit more because it was very hard to do one-handed, but as you can see, most of the color transfer is coming off here. This was the side with the worst of it. As you can see, like right here, there's like a little peach-ish discoloration, but nearly not as bad as that huge spot of like red there. The other side looks fantastic. And I even brushed some on the inside. I only put about a spoonful of it in the water to help with the dye transfer. And yeah, I made a mess on the counter, but this needs to like soak for about 5 to 10 minutes. And with these shoes, I have a feeling that not all of it is going to come out, like this little mark right there. But compared to what it was, this is great. And these are actually a pair of shoes that I thrifted for Lily anyway. And like I said, I thrifted them with the dye transfer, so someone must have worn them when they were wet. Then I cleaned them all and then had to wash them again, and kind of the same thing happened. So I will come back in like 10 minutes and show you guys what the final results are, and then I'll put the shoes outside. Okay, I wasn't going to film the other shoe, but I actually am, because I realized that parts of it. But look at the inside of this. Most of the dye transfer that was up here on this leather is completely gone. As you can see, the big red splotch is kind of a little yellowy, but it's not that bad at all. And all the dye transfer came off of the Vans design on the side. But the reason why I'm going to film this other shoe is because look at that. Obviously, this side I wasn't looking at when I was filming the other side, because this is probably worse than that first shoe. It's just like that other one though was. So here I am again working it into the stain, so you can try to see. It's hard to do holding my phone. The dye transfer kind of worked its magic. Over there, it's starting to work already. This one might have some yellowing as too because of the bright red color, but a little bit of yellow on a white shoe is better than this whole thing being like pink. So you see the other side. The other side is a little bad, like right there. And up at the top again. It's like up at the top where this leather comes in has been a common spot for Vans to like do this. Now this one has a very pink like tag as well. I'm going to put some on the tag because I don't want Lily's socks to turn pink when she's wearing the shoes. So, and a good other reason to like do this would be like, have you ever worn new jeans with like new sneakers and your sneakers were mostly white and then they get like blue on them? This will actually take the blue out. With blue, it tends to turn like that purple-y, like kind of scary reaction happens. That's common, just so you know, and don't freak out. I'm not expecting every 100% to get it out, but this product just does amazing. Okay, look at that already. Look at the difference. So, you can kind of see too the water. It's getting like a pinkish color. Sometimes you can see it lift like right out into the water if there's a lot of the dye bleeding. I'm going to let this soak for 5 minutes and I'll show you what the final results are but after and then right before I set them outside to dry. Okay, so here's the result. As you can see, there's like a little bit of yellow right there. But when they dry, that might be less noticeable. But the inside where it was all pink and the tag, it's not pink anymore. Besides the bottom of the sole where it's supposed to be pink. But there's that, and I will give you guys an update after they've sat outside for a while. Okay, so I just checked on these. So I'm going to show you guys like the result of what they look like. There's still like a little bit of yellowing, but as you can see, like most of the pink dye is gone. The inside, like the tag isn't as pink and stuff anymore. Looks pretty good. All the dye came off of the leather. So here's this one. You can see that one big spot is still there, but for the majority though, look at how clean they look. And like I said, these are just for Lily, but I paid 99 cents for them because of the color bleed. And I think that they're gonna look pretty good when we're all done.